Hello everyone, and welcome to this much anticipated stream. I'm Osage Orange, and tonight we're going to be presenting, well, I'm going to be presenting the Mark V Industrial Smelter. Now, I hope you all have had a good evening, or day, or morning, wherever you guys are. I hope that you'll enjoy the stream. I will be going into a lot of detail, but at the end you'll get an idea of what number of people are doing who have interacted with me and know about my smelter. Oh, hi Andy. Thanks. If you want, I can give you a link to the resource pack once I'm done with the stream, so that could be a thing. See if we could get a few more people here to join us, and then we will start the tour. Just so everybody knows, anybody who's here, this is the Wolfhound Resource Pack. It is the one I have found to be quite nice. I've used several. This is just the newest one. I find that I really like the texture of the stone brick. It feels very industrial. Sorry for the nether portal there being so loud. Few features while we're still sort of idling in neutral here. This is the mine. It goes from this wall right over here. It goes for almost 650 blocks in that direction. So that's quite a distance. I've actually had to import the old nether portal hub system to be able to get to the distance, so used to have the tracks for smelter delivery right here, and then surface delivery right here, and up here into this device. Oh, we got a few more people, so let's go ahead and get things started for the Smelter Tour, guys. So before we go into the nitty-gritty of the guts of the smelter, I'm going to show you guys sort of the grand level. And here it is, guys. Excuse me. We've got 3 blocks of 16 furnaces to each side. And then down here at the end, we have a block of 8. Here on what is now the left side, this is all cobblestone. Then here on the right, this particular section does netherrack. This one right here in the middle does sand and clay. And then this one right here does our metals, gold and iron. Then the very one there at the end does the food. You know, when I go out harvesting from my cow farm. I've also got a lot of chicken from when I did chicken farming. Then here is a very important feature, guys, the control room, which is originally wasn't part of the smelter, but then I decided to add it. This here controls the cobblestone, and everything else here controls all the other features. Oh, wrong button. So anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the smelter. Now, I will admit, there's a lot of it you can't see. And based on what I've more or less built for myself, it's kind of like a giant lobster with a claw right here and a claw right here. It essentially goes in right here and comes out over here. So I'll take you through the nitty-gritty. You got these minecarts that are part of the transport system of an automated importation and sorting system. And so, as each minecart goes up, obviously they're going to trigger a redstone circuit, and they're going to go, oh, come on, there we go. Going to trigger the switch. I'm not going to bother you guys too much by taking all the way up to the top, but there are the switches. So, minecarts go ahead and go on up. Hello, Pathos. How are you doing? And hi, Warframe Draco. Welcome, welcome. So here we are at the initial deposit point for the minecarts. Basically, they come up, circuit turns off and they start depositing. Then once we get the other two minecarts, they come up to this upper station. Same thing. Now if I've got extra gubs on me, what I'll do is I'll come deposit it in here, and I've got some cobblestone I'm having sorting into the system. So then what goes on is we've got, for both sides, both giant amounts of hoppers in two hopper lines, we've got item filters. So we've got coal blocks and coal lumps with netherrack, sand, clay, and then over here is iron and gold. And same thing on the other side. And then here at the very end, with everything else that's been filtered out, is cobblestone. So essentially what happens then is it goes into a giant sort of distribution system. And in this case you can see part of the delivery system I have here for cobblestone. And then that distribution system goes into the storage system. And this is part of it. So basically I have those minecarts we just saw. They'll run along the track, come through this long sort of alley of hoppers and chests, and they'll proceed on down here. And then they'll proceed back up, and there's a track that goes back around and connects up to the front end we saw just a moment ago. So yeah, this is 64 to either side, 64 rows of chests, as you can see. Now we're back up to the distribution side, and we're going to show you our other material. So those item filters you saw a little bit ago were to distribute the various goods. In the case of these tracks, you can see, netherrack, sand, clay, iron, and gold. They distribute out to the localized storage for those items. And then I have an on-site storage here for the coal blocks and coal lumps. So then what happens, once the mine carts have reached their appropriate destination, they get filtered out, the materials, into this system right here. Basically, it gets deposited down, comes down, and all the way to the end. Similar sort of thing here for the sand and clay. Go around the easy way. Oh. And here is for the netherrack. Now, in terms of uncooked food, that gets deployed here to these two chests. And then, once we get everything where it needs to go, we get it set up for fuel. Now, each substation has set up very much like this. Basically, I'll go around system for a minecart that'll have fuel in it. Now, I've got a special feature. You can see part of it right here. You're going to get to hear that here in a moment. So, then we've got here's the netherrack fuel, and it's got, as I said, it's got a similar setup for the cobblestone and for the other ones. Now we've got all this input. What about extraction? Well, let me show you. Ta-da! We have an automated system for extraction. It's a lot like the input system. And what's neat about this is that I can turn it on and off. So if I need to wait for just one bunch of cobble to melt, or in this case, let's just say I'm waiting for some iron, and I don't want this minecart racing along back and forth as metal comes out, gets smelted and all, I can just flick the switch here, and it's in the off position. I'll turn these guys on. Got the same thing here with the cobblestone side. That allows me to have the system sort of gum up, and then when I'm ready for it, I'll bring out the metal, or the cobble, which is smelted down to smooth stone, and then that can be directed this way to the end of the surface delivery system. I took around there, goes through here, yada yada yada, into this minecart right here, which goes to the surface, and therefore creates the sort of lobster-like shape of the smelter. Now, there is a lot of redstone in this build, and I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of it. As I said earlier, you know, we've got a fairly simplistic side here for the cobblestone control surfaces, and you can see the setup I've got. Basically making sure that things go the way they're supposed to go. Then over here, for the other side, it's a little more complex, and I've got multiple control runs heading out, both here on lower level, and then here on the upper level, as you all can see. Alright, now, it wouldn't be a full live stream if I didn't actually fire this puppy up, so we're going to do that. I've already gotten all the items distributed that we're going to smelt. We're going to do a whole smelting. We're going to turn the entire thing on. So, this means I am going to have to make sure that we get everything needed. So, let's see. Nope, I'm being silly. There we go. These are going to be for the cobblestone side. This is going to be for the other side, and that's going to be for the food. And so let's go ahead and get things started. Now, before I forget, I am going to actually make things a little easier on myself. I should have done this before I left the control room. Let's see. Oh. I'm going to turn on the delivery systems so that the stuff starts to get deployed. So, that way we're not having to wait for the system to do its thing. Now, one of the improvements I'm going to do for the Mark 6 smelters have a much better fuel delivery program, so I'm not having to scurry about the way I am. Or at least reduce the amount of scurrying. Letting the minecarts through, don't want to bounce any of them and mess everything up. One of the other things I'm also going to do for the Mark 6 is also improve the delivery systems and the redstone systems. Alright, so we've got a little bit of cobble in the system. Got some iron, got clay, more cobble. It's one of the things I need to keep an occasional eye on, is make sure that the systems don't gum up, because here on this side, not so much the cobble side, they tend to gum up. That guy's moving along. So that's one of the improvements that I need to work on, is the delivery systems. Alright. We've had some delivery. The food system has already gotten its stuff deployed. So, it is time to do a thing. A very special thing. Now, I'm turning on the fuel, but this right here is the fuel safety switch. Or as I call it, the dummy switch. That way I don't accidentally flick on fuel when I don't mean to. So, we're going to go ahead and activate the whistle for this smelter. Wait for the minecarts to pass first. Here it goes. And we flick the switch. Up. Okay, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I forgot to flick the switch for the cobblestone. I'm being a dunce. The dummy switch did its job. There we go. So yeah, it's working. Alright. So now, I need to do this. Alright. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to very quickly mute the volume so that we don't have the minecarts driving us all crazy. So, anybody have any questions? Well, as hello, this is the Wolfhound Resource Pack. I can give you a link whenever you feel like it. So, basically, for the Mark 6, I will say, the sort of plan that I've got going in my head is to add another block of 16, sort of remove the block here at the end, and then continue with another block of 16, essentially starting right here. Then, in the middle, between the two sets, to either side, there's going to be a giant control space. Alright? So that way I don't have a little control room like I do with this one. I'm going to have a control space in the middle, just to go, you know, click, 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 boom, smelter's on. As to, an estimate? Too much time. I've spent over 55 days on this world, so yeah, you know, most of that has been mining or related to the smelter here, so that has been a long time. Yeah, it is kind of like a dwarven forge. For those of you who know him, Mr. Red Dragon, I saw one of his Minecraft videos with some of his friends, and they were doing Sky Factory, and they were doing this one energy doodad. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they had a setup to where they were having multiple colors in it. And so, originally, this the smelter was a lot like this passage right here, you know, essentially a monotone uniform gray. And after seeing this particular video by Mr. Red, that inspired me to add some more color. So I thought, well, what would be good color for a smelter? Well, obviously the gray, doy. And then I thought, well, what else? Then I thought, well, obsidian and nether brick. And so that's essentially what I did, and I even included here to the sides a little bit both the obsidian and the nether brick. Yep, it does kind of feel like that way. I was actually watching the Desolation of Smaug a few weeks back, and I was thinking, I just happened to be making delivery when they were in the forges. So I was like, gee, I kind of got a dwarven forge here. And yes, Warframe Draco, this was done all in survival. Down to the last brick. And so this has been lots of hours of testing and modifying and building and even remodifying. The outfit that I've got up here for the delivery systems here on this side of the smelter, this is not what I originally had even prototyped. I generally built a prototype and then build the prototype in survival and test it out. And so, in this case, this had to be modified because I found it was actually not working the way I thought it would work. Geez, we got a lot of stuff. Look at all this brick and nether brick. Got iron. Just stuff pouring and heaving out of this thing. Ah, Drek. So yeah. So this gives you a sense, Drek, of what my smelter is like. In that prototype I posted on your Discord, it's essentially just one section, but double-sided, as you saw. So, does anybody else have any questions? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, that's going to be for the Mark 6 there, Drake. I just saw your comment about having a central area. And there is actually plans for a Mark 7 as well, but I won't be building that till after I've built a Mark 6. Because this is the Mark 5. Now, trivia of the day about this thing is I've sort of call it the Challenger smelter after the Union Pacific Challengers. So, and there's a little bit of a tribute to that in the blocks of furnaces here. The Challenger type was a 4664 configuration locomotive. It's an articulated type. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ergo, that's why I call it the Challenger type smelter. And yes, indeed, it is a good god. Yeah, the Mark 6 Indy is actually just going to be removing this block and adding a fourth block, so there's 4. So that the Mark 6 will be codenamed Big Boy, which is the big brother to the Challenger. It's a 4884. And actually that's probably going to be the largest smelter I'm ever going to try to design, because this one, the last feature I had to put in was the cobblestone storage. And bear you, not the cobblestone storage is not even full. Oopsie, I just realized I made another oopsie. I need to do something. I need to go flick this switch so that the cobblestone top station, the station that's right here, starts getting refilled. Otherwise, it's going to start draining, and then it's not going to be doing its job. Can't even tell if the minecarts are coming. But yeah, Indy, the farthest I've gotten on filling this thing is right here. The number 16 silo. Excuse me. Let's see how full it is. See? Just up. Minecarts are passing by. Not all of them? Probably. So yeah, this thing isn't quite 1/4 of the way full. So, yeah. This thing is massive. And the Mark 7, not the Mark 7, the Mark 6 is going to be bigger yet. Essentially, this smelter is going to help me build the next smelter, if that makes any sense. That would make a lot of sense, Drek. But think of it as, I like to build big, and if I were to try to put a pick-off and drop-off all in one place, that would take a lot of effort, because think about it, you know, hoppers, they want to go down. And that means I'd have to figure out some way, you know, most likely minecarts, to be able to bring it up. Which is why I've got the automated delivery system. As I said, it goes from here, all the way over here, all the way up, and then over here to the delivery system. I'll give you guys a peek of the redstone that's working. That's the fuel lines. But here are the delivery lines. They're all working. Yeah, something that I've had to deal with is the little lag from all the redstone repeaters, and that's partly because was buffering up against stuff for the drop chute and the access passage. So that was one of the problems I faced. So let's switch all these guys off, so I don't have a dunce maneuver. Yeah, a lot of repeaters. That's going to be, that's one of my goals, Indy, is to reduce the number of repeaters so that it's more resource efficient, because, you know, it can take a lot of resources to build a bunch of repeaters. And one of the things I'm also going to be doing is seeing if I can make this a little bit wider for the Mark 6. Any more thoughts, questions, that sort of thing, guys? Yeah, that would be another thing that I'm gonna have to work on. Is that's part of the improvement. Is I want to improve the delivery systems overall. Because one of the things I've realized is that I could probably make it a little more loop-de-loop on the delivery for the non-cobble side, like I have here on the cobble side. And I can even make that more efficient by removing the top delivery stations and essentially right about here have like a little drop chute like I have at the very top, and then have that drop in here, and essentially have a small delivery station for all the fuel, for all the cobble up here. That way they'll more efficiently be able to go around and then back down here and down the way. Well, I can show you. We'll let the smelter do its thing, and I'll give you a tour up topside as well. Because I don't actually have any diamonds on me, so let me turn music and sounds back on. Oh, we got a delivery! Sorry for the sound. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Here's my stables. And I've actually named it after several GGG members. I have Beep right here. And then I got Jen. So yay, GGG references. In so many words, Drek, a big one. And this, what you see on the outside is only part of the story. Ta-da! So yes, a massive hole in the ground. Here is essentially this building's crowning achievement. Part garden, part architecture, part beacon. I've got a massive 6 beacon, only it's using 4 because I got some of the supports right here. So this also took a lot of time to do. And so basically, that's right, Indy, you wanted to take a look at the diamonds. There are the diamonds. And then for reference, block of diamonds. So sort of, here's the general purpose crafting area. I don't have anything in it right here, but here's my nether wart farm with water collection system. Then I have my forging and washing area. Only one of my cauldrons is full right now. Yep. Then here is my brewing area. And then I've got a number of stands with some diamond armor. As you can see, I'm showing off a lot of enchanted diamond armor. And then I've got not one, but two enchanting stations. That way I can have you know, if I want to use one different, that way I can do it. And let's go up to the main level. Quick peek at my house. Big house. Ooh, it's nighttime. Yay. So, back to the main level here. It's sort of got a nice little coffee sort of stand right here. And then I've got a nice amount of open space where, you know, sort of like a large lounge for people to sit and relax in. Of course, we got the beacon lights. They go all the way through the ceiling from the beacon downstairs. I am currently looking for a new job. And do bear in mind, Drek, that this has been built over time. This map is about 20, 21 months old. Then up here is the throne room. With my epic throne, I've got, as you can see, I've got diamond, I got gold, lapis, and emerald. And so, you know, my throne room. Now, it did take a lot of effort to do all the banners you've seen. And I figured, you know, the throne needed something special, so I went for the beacons mirroring each other. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. Let's add some beacons. More beacons. Trust me, that was a ton of effort to get the all the wither skulls to be able to face the all those withers. Also took a lot of time to be able to get all the stuff I needed for all the banners. As you can see on the main level here, it is just banners galore. There were times where all I wanted to do was just pull my hair out, saying, God, why did I have to do banners in such a amount heavy ways? Oh my God. So, that's that. Yep, I could have. That's that. So I think we ought to go back downstairs. Let's take the shortcut. I know what you're thinking. What shortcut? Well, yes, knowing me, there's a shortcut. Up top there's the depositing station for the item sorting, and you've been seeing that here on the sides. That would be something, wouldn't it be? Here's the shortcut. Alright. The smelter is probably done by now. That it is. So we can officially turn it off. I'm gonna have to finish dealing with those minecarts later. So turning everything off, the smelter is off. I'm gonna have to go through later on and clean things up. I had this thing all nice, neat, and pretty, so yep. Look at that, all that's smooth stone just waiting to be transported up. Got iron, bricks, nether bricks, chicken. So yep. Yeah, this was done all that this was done all by myself, so it did take a lot of effort. So, and this hasn't been everything. I didn't really show you everything, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And so, if you have any thoughts or questions or anything of the like, You guys know where to find me. Most of you know me on Discord. Yes, designing the central design room will be a challenge. I've actually already done some prototyping for that. I'm just waiting for 1.13 to be released before I actually design a prototype, because you guys know how things can change from developmental in progress, developmental in snapshots to the final version. So, I think this is probably going to be about it, guys, for this special stream. If you're watching this later, I want to thank you for coming and checking out. I'm sorry you missed it. There's one person I know, Dravella, from Mr. Red's channel. I hope you're getting to watch this at some point. And I will... yes, it was all done in my single-player world, indeed. So it was quite a challenge. Ergo, part of the reason why I decided to call it the Challenger Smelter. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it quits on this stream. I really want to thank you guys for coming out. And I will catch everybody at a later date.